Hello, Drunkduckers. This is Ozone Ocean. With me are Tance and Baines. Hello.
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 Hello. And we are on the Quackcast. Oh my goodness me. And we're on Quackcast number 797. And oh my goodness me. What, 797? That's incredible. It doesn't seem real, does it?
Wow. No.
We're moving inexorably to 800.
We're getting so old. Time's moving so fast, and yet we don't age.
That's true.
Incredible.
I haven't aged for 20 years. It's amazing.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Forever young.
Oh God, forever young. Oh my God, that song. Yeah, we're stuck in the 80s, listening to new romantic music. That's how we are. So we're talking about aging of characters, or lack of aging, or how you age your characters. Because you like in this discussion, we're not just talking about the fact that you might age characters from here to there. You might like draw them at a particular age for whatever reason. But before we get into that, that was our theme song, showing that even though my body isn't aging, my brain is. The featured comic we have is Quackcast, and she is going to tell us about a lovely little comic that she featured, and that comic is The Turtle, or it's just Turtle. So Quack, tell us about Turtle.
Hello, this is Quackcast, and the feature I've selected for this week is Turtle by Tensa1, and it is rated E for everyone. Turtle takes walks. Turtle rolls on a skateboard. Turtle goes to school. Turtle likes ice cream. Most importantly, Turtle dances. Follow daily social interactions from the perspective of a turtle named Turtle. Black and white line work and shading. Hand-lettered fonts. 4-paneled 2x2 comic strip layout. Learn which sports Turtle has mastered and read Turtle by Tensa1, rated E.
That was Turtle. Quackcast talk about Turtle. Turtle. Okay, so there's Turtle, and now we have the theme music. The best of from Gone. This week is theme called Old Dogs, and I picked this because it's got old in the title. And so yeah, Old Dogs, the burning of an old fire, glowing red hot amongst the black coals and charred ashen grey wood. This is a gritty ode to grizzled aged experience and time. It's prickly with a taste of rock and bourbon, like good old barbecue sauce. Take it away, go on to the theme to Old Dogs. was Old Dogs, Gunwaltz's theme, and that was originally played in Quackcast number 685. So quite recent, actually. April 2024. There we go. So, aging. Well, we have, all of us depict our characters at certain ages, and some of us age our characters. Bones, like, we were talking in our little Patreon video before, and you were saying that you haven't aged any of your characters. But is this true?
I haven't.
Is this true? Have you ever done flashbacks of your characters as children?
Oh, does that count?
It counts.
I haven't. I've thought about stories and I've doodled the characters being older because I would like to do something like some kind of flash forward. Because I was telling you how excited I am for the Pinky TA flash forward in your comic. I would like to do a story like that. I don't have a story in mind yet, so I've drawn them that way, and it's really fun for some of the characters to do that. As far as making them younger, yeah, I've done some pages. We've seen Oscar younger, like maybe 10 years younger, and we saw, there was a photo, there was sort of a montage of TK and Penelope, who are brother and sister, of them growing up. So we saw that. There was one other flashback that was only about a year, flashing back a year. So all I did was, and it was about Penelope, so all I did was make her hair shorter in the flashback.
Excellent. So we
I think
have.
that's all, yeah.
We dragged it out of you. We had to have some aging within.
I didn't think that counted because they're kind of stuck in time. But yeah, we go backwards a little bit, and maybe we'll go forwards at some point.
100% that counts. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful.
It does indeed. So yeah, like the topic is aging of your characters or ages of your characters, and this is, you make a conscious decision to depict them at a certain age, and you have to do that for various reasons. And so Baines, you had some particular reason for depicting like the typical strange characters in their early or mid-20s or early 30s, because that depicts people in a state of life where that fits with this particular the story or characters within
they're all speaking of moving in time, like this thing is kind of locked in time as well. I could change that maybe going forward, possibly, but they work in a video store, which is pretty close to an artifact at this point. They don't really exist. There's a couple, I think, out there, but so there's that. But in this sort of this kind of job and this kind of story, the way these characters behave and interact with each other, it really is the story of either 20-somethings or somewhat arrested 30-somethings, which is what my characters are, in their 20s to 30s. And the 30-something kind of semi-slacker, when it's like you really should be moving forward in some way or figuring things out, it's getting a little late in the day. That's sort of where they are, and there are lots of shows with people like that, of course. But yeah, like the way they are with romance and stuff like that, it makes more sense for teenagers probably. So they're in their 20s and 30s, and they're a little bit clueless.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too, and that's fun. So yeah, it's sort of by what the series is about, sort of puts them in a certain age range, a rough one. And I settled on all their specific ages when I first started the comic, so I knew then, okay, if and when I do a flashback or flash forward, I'll know where they're at age wise.
And we did the same thing when we did Bottomless Waitress.
Did we set their ages?
I mean, we didn't consciously. I don't know. How did we do it?
We might have. Yeah, we might have. I don't remember.
It's not that we didn't consciously do it. It's like we didn't explicitly do it, but we did like form them in a particular way that just gave them those ages. So Polly was older, Jane and Francis are younger, and then the story like decided that they were these ages. And we didn't go beyond that because you have to be a certain age. I'll go on.
Oh, no, go ahead. I want to hear.
Well, you have to be a certain age in order to have these particular like emotional states and life experiences and all that kind of thing, and reactions to things and position in life. I mean, you don't have to, but all these things like come together to indicate that this person would be this particular age because of how they're acting, their life experience, the position they find themselves in. So obviously this would not be a 50-year-old person with all these experiences like, Jane. So yeah, there's that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just
Although
talking shit.
you do run into middle-aged people who have this mentality. Did I trample on a joke there? I'm sorry.
No, no, you didn't. No, you didn't do an ozone.
You do see it in life, where people are like, man, she acts like, or he acts like a teenager, or she acts like a teenager, and the way they are with relationships is like, this makes no sense for your age. You don't say this to the person, but you might think it.
What a dick.
Oh, yeah.
People might have thought it about me here and there. Who knows? I'm not saying I'm better. I'm not, but you're like, oh, like people who still have this certain whatever about whatever area of life. They're just not, that their psychological age is not a match for their actual age. That's pretty common, for people to be more mature than they physically are, or less mature than they physically are, But like I do agree that like Jane's preoccupation with her relationship and the job she's at, Francis's mentality sort of puts them in maybe an age where people would be thinking about going to college, or it's a couple years after that. They're maybe early 20s, maybe mid 20s.
And lack of experience with the world as well.
Yes.
It gives them these particular points of view.
Yeah. And Polly has this cynicism, and she's got this backstory that puts her, to me, around 41.
Yes, I've always agreed, actually.
Yeah.
I love that.
Although, to be honest, like that world weary Polly thing and the way she is, I've known 30-year-olds and even a little younger who are like that.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe even way younger who are like, have been around. And it's not fake, they've been around, they've seen some stuff, and they're like in their 20s only or whatever.
Yeah, but I do like it as a 40s because it feels right.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was trying to get to as well. Yeah, that feels like it makes sense for an early 40s person to be like that.
Yeah.
And an early 20s person or people to be the way Jane and Francis are.
And that makes her, like Polly and Jane, that really gives that a reason why they have that kind of tension between them.
Yeah.
Like Polly sort of looking down on Jane in some ways. Like, oh, you're so experienced. Oh, like I've seen this all before, that kind of thing. Like in reaction to Jane specifically, not just like as a general opinion, but her, reacting to Jane because, she thinks, oh God, it's so immature. She's like, should know better. That kind of thing. Yeah.
And it could be that dynamic if they were the same age, just if they were different people, but it works better in fiction, I think, if they have this actual age separation. It gives it some weight, I guess.
She feels a bit more like not motherly necessarily, but big sisterly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or mentory. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have 15 years between them, or even a little more, yeah, it's a good.
Yeah, exactly.
Mentory kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes, aging characters is good. It's good. It's good. Like I was saying in Pinky TA, like their characters all go through, like because Pinky TA's, the chapters are all set in different periods of Pinky's life, I suppose, or the life of this world. And it's not linear in that, okay, so we start off, in a particular time in Pinky's life here, but then this chapter might happen before that chapter, and this chapter might happen like 20 years after, like the current chapter. So that bounces around a bit, and I have to depict people as the ages they should be. So if the thing only happened like 2 years before or 5 years before, so there's not that much change. So physical slight differences, I don't know, like rounded cheeks a bit more, or if they're older, hollow cheeks, deeper lines on the face, around in places where they should be, like on the sides of the mouth, down from the nose, that kind of thing, underneath the eyes, little bags and stuff like that, more prominent cheekbones. And different hairstyles, just changes like that. And I love doing that kind of thing. I like depicting physical changes on my characters. That's so much fun to do, like from an artistic point of view.
Right.
Not necessarily changing the way they act, because I just, that's just a bit more subtle in the way I write. But changing the physical appearances I love doing that kind of thing. I've even drawn Pinky as a child, and that was fun. Or as a teen or something.
That's never been in the comic though,
No,
right? Or
no.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I've even got her mum in the comic in some, but I've made her mum quite old and when I put her in.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So that is quite a thrill for me to change the way they appear. Tance, your characters in obviously Without Moonlight, huge differences, but Verdant only slightly different. You depicted
I mean, we haven't seen like a huge time jump. The only characters we have seen younger than their default settings, let's say, are Ethan and Callum, the two knights that fight in Ethan's dream in the beginning, where he has this dream of how he got his mouth scar that he has. And he's in that dream, he's like around like 13ish, 14ish, but he looks older because they are basically kids that have been trained to be knights from a very young age, and so they are, more developed, more broad-shouldered, more everything. And so they look like 15, 16, maybe. So it's around there, like early to mid-teens. And it was fun because then he gets to wake up from the nightmare, and he has to look quite older than that because he's in his late 20s. So about 10 years older in his default. Yeah, he's like 25-ish there. Which is for the fantasy world that he's in, it is considered quite mature, like young mature. It's considered. It's not considered young adult like we consider 25-year-olds. He is basically on his way to be allowed to start a family as an elder. So that's more or less where he's at age-wise. So yeah.
And the age was chosen for that specific reason, that
why he's there at that age. Yeah, because he has to be not young enough to be dismissed, not old enough to be too old to do certain things. He has to be in a sweet spot of not being super experienced, not being completely inexperienced, and having a status that gives him enough social gravitas that when he does certain things, people don't dismiss him as like a stupid kid that does things. That's why he now starts at like 25 is 28 is like somewhere around there. I'm not fully decided yet, but he's past his mid 20s, just past his mid 20s.
That makes sense. And
Yeah.
of course, then we jump into Without Moonlight, where we have all kinds of aging happening because we've got two specific things, mainly like people aging mentally, and I don't know, slight physical changes just within the course of the 2 months of the original story. But then we've got jumping to the new chapter where we are also jumping a couple of years later. So then you've got that aging.
Not immediately. Like the introduction is basically like a couple of months, 3 months later. Because we have to pick up from there. But we're not going to go day by day every single scene, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not happening in real time.
Yeah, because in the first volume, pretty much everything was real, quote unquote, real time. Like it was over the span of like 2 months. Everything happened within 2 months, more or less.
Okay.
Whereas now everything is going to happen over the span of 7 years. So certain times we will have time jumps for certain things. But now we begin roughly where we left, like a little bit later from where we left off. So everyone is the same age, but everyone is a bit more grizzled for reasons that will be obvious.
So when you depict like Fotis aging, like even if it's just like a psychological aging, do you do things like hollow the cheeks out or like make the eyes a bit narrower, that kind of thing?
No. Yes and no. What do I mean by this? I forced myself not to change the structure of his face. Like he still has his baby as much as he could because he's basically not very well nourished, but he still has his baby face, sort of. But the way he has expressions that are mismatched with his face.
Okay.
So he normally has more rounded eyes because he's still more on the childish, like child age rather than adult age, because he's still 14. He's going to turn 15 in March of that year. So because that's when, like, for Without Moonlight, I have accurate ages for absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
Not so for me. But what I do is that because he frowns a lot and he is suspicious of a lot of people, he squints. So his eyes look more angular and more like narrower than you would expect in a young face, in such a young face. He also frowns a lot, so he has these two creases that are not permanent. Like when his features ease, he becomes instantly younger looking.
Right.
Instantly. When he feels a little happier, when he's very relaxed and stuff, he has this little window of showing his actual age, because even though his face creases in these ways, nothing is permanent. It's a very young face.
Yeah.
So that's how I draw him now. He has a bit of a like angled jaw towards the back, because when he grows up, he's going to cut a sharp jaw, just because I like that. But right now he doesn't really. He only has this little angle here that hints at what is to come. So that
Yeah.
doesn't really count for him being like I don't draw him more aged. It's just that I give him expressions that give me the chance to for-age his features
Yeah, to
because
hint
he
at
has
it.
these adult expressions.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it brings me to another topic. I mean, how do you age your face? Like I've sort of brought up like narrowed eyes, hollow cheeks, or rounded cheeks, and rounder eyes or something is for a younger character. Thinner, smaller eyes are for older characters. Like in sized lines in faces are things that older characters can have, and we all know about lines. In your crow's feet is a common thing. The lines either side of the mouth, but also like extra fat deposits. Like if you see the what was that series Spider Noir with Nicolas Cage, and they aged him up to make him look older than he actually is in that, which is a weird thing because if you see interviews with him about Spider Noir, he doesn't look as old as he does in Spider Noir, which was a weird thing because when you watch Spider Noir, you think, oh my god, he's actually aged. Oh wow, which is a normal thing because he's much older than he was when he began in movies. But then you see him in interviews, you think, oh, they've actually aged him more in Spider Noir in order to indicate that this, in order to indicate the difference between when he was a captain in the First World War, which they show those flashback scenes, versus him as an older man after the war, quite many years after the war, in the 1930s, I think. So like 20 years later. So yeah, that's why they did it. Whereas he actually doesn't look quite that old in real life, which is interesting. But they did that by adding jowls to his face. So he's like this.
Yeah. How the skin hangs off the jaw is very indicative, and especially like the shaft of the jaw underneath and the throat, all of that can show age, even if someone looks looks younger than their age, they're still there.
The neck, you can't hide the neck.
Yes,
the neck is telling.
And I have also seen that proportions are very important in showing age. The proportions of the face. How much space does your forehead take on your face?
Yeah, that's an interesting one because and I've thought about this. Whereas, okay, so obviously you can have receding hairlines. That's the thing, with age. But there's also, as you get older, you just can't be stuffed with having your hair in your face anymore. And that's a thing. Like, so it's not only just receding hairlines; it's the fact that you get so annoyed at having your hair in your face that you become habitually addicted to getting it out of your face all the time. Some people will older people they'll cut a fringe, or as the Americans say, bangs, in order to allow for them to hide their foreheads. But most people, I find, just get habituated into getting their hair out of their face at all times.
Yeah. And also like we said, your skin is heavier. So it will hang off your bones a little more in general.
Well, collagen breaks down under this top layer, so you have.
So the shape of the eyes. Sorry about the dogs. They are defending from another dog, probably. So the eyes, the shape of your eyes is going to slowly droop a little bit downwards as you age. The eyelids are going to become a little bit more hooded, not necessarily hooded, but a little bit more hooded.
Oh yeah, there's hooding of the eyes. I've read that you actually have more bone deposit on the bones of the cheeks, so it
Mm.
makes the eyes look deeper
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it gives the impression of the eyes receding. It's like long in the tooth, that's saying, because we think our teeth get longer, but it's actually the gums receding. So
yeah,
there's those kind of
exactly.
things. Yeah. So your eyes don't actually
Mhm.
become deeper. It's just that your
The
cheeks get
nose
bigger.
becomes a bit more prominent as well as you age.
Oh yes, yes, that does. Ears become longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Hands, they have more, they become bonier, uh, not necessarily because of like rheumatism or stuff like that. It just does become a more um, like the more weather bitten, and again, it
Gnarly.
hinges on yeah, but again, it hinges on what kind of life you have led. If you were doing nothing of your life, it might be a bit more tender, but it will still look old.
Yes, and then we have things like, I mean, obviously different indications of different ages. You know, liver spots and all that kind of stuff. That's not
Yeah.
something that like a 40-year-old's going to have. But yeah, like in 60s, 70s, you're going to have those kind of marks. So
Mhm.
all kinds of
And the
different
entire,
ages.
like the way your spine curve
Mm.
shifts as well. So you tend to be a bit more forward,
Yeah,
Mm.
in
you'll have a
leaning
curled
a little
over
bit.
person.
Yeah, a little bit. Not, I mean, not everyone has like a hunch or something, but the entire it feels a little bit like you are being hung on a hanger a little bit the more you age.
Yeah,
If you see, if you pay attention to the skeleton, how the skeleton uh, arranges
exactly.
itself,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
that's interesting.
Oh, and there's all changes here, like the body fat distribution, all that kind of thing. I was wondering if I should give Ace uh, a beer gut, but I don't think he's the kind of. I think, but Ace Kincaid, my heroic or not pseudo
Mhm.
heroic character, who's actually a bit of a villain, or a rake. He should have. He's be one of those kind of vain people who would have a permanent six pack as they age. You know, those kind of men who will always
Yeah, I would expect him to be a bit more sinewy at the neck, like his
hmm,
tendons stand out a little more, and also like a bit more relaxing around the jawline. But he hates. I bet that he hates that.
yeah, there's things he wouldn't be able to help, but he would be a vain man that would do everything he could to try and pretend he's in his 20s or early 30s, no matter how old he
Yeah,
is. He's one of those people.
Maybe
yeah.
he'd have like
And
a
also,
Jeremy
another thing.
Irons kind of look or
mm,
something.
Ooh, yeah,
Another thing is
love him.
that
Yeah.
your as you age, I mean, beyond your 50s and 60s, like beyond 65, when you are starting to flirt with the 70s, your lips become narrower, like the
Mm.
top lip becomes narrower for sure.
Right.
um, and that is not contingent on whether still have your teeth, but if you don't have your teeth, it basically gets sucked in.
Mm.
If you Yeah, if you do have your teeth, it just drops because gravity makes it drop.
Yes, yes, yes.
It disappears a little bit.
It's
So
very
yeah.
tricky to draw people at different ages
Mm.
when you think about the physical changes that happen, especially like when you think about younger, you know, when you're thinking, okay, much more rounded cheeks, much less bone
Mm.
definition. And there's
Yeah.
been, like, in popular culture, not popular culture, but like, you know, social media, that kind of thing, we have these idiots doing this what is it, Looksmaxing? That's the thing that
Oh my
they're
God,
trying to
I
do
hate that
with
word.
men, but women as well have this thing, like people in their late teens and early 20s. There's this fashion for plastic surgery for these idiot young people.
Wow.
And they're doing this thing with making their cheekbones more prominent. And basically that stuff that you get when you're older, like in your late 30s and early 40s. And these people who are in their late teens and early 20s are giving themselves facial features of a 40-year-old, which is insane. And
that's why they do Italian, because they are trying at least, and assuming that they manage, they will have this bone structure of a 40-year-old with the skin of a 20-year-old over it, which is weird.
It's strange, yes. They don't realize that's not a beauty thing to have a hollow cheeks and prominent cheekbones. That's an aging thing. That's how it happens. And you're messing yourself up. Like, enjoy what you look like when you look like it, because that's going to change and you can't help it. So...
Exactly. And
man.
I understand. I mean, there is, in everything, there is the stuff that is healthy to do, and then there is a line that you cross over into something that might be a bit of a disorder, if not a full-blown disorder. If you are breaking your face, especially if you are breaking your face on your own, without a doctor doing it for you at least, that is a red flag. You should get help. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, they talk about this idea of like breaking their cheekbones with like hammers and stuff, but I'm sorry, I just can't really believe it, because I can't believe that you could injure yourself and have the bones reformat into some shape that you would want. I don't think bodies work that way. Bodies, you'd get swelling and weirdness and dimples and craters and all this kind of stuff. So
they are just and that's another dangerous thing, because they do, I mean, I do believe that they are lying about breaking their face with the hammer, because they would end up in the ER for sure. They have not seen, I have seen how it is to break your cheekbone.
Yeah.
And it does not look like they think it looks.
Yeah, that doesn't sound.
But what they are doing is they are basically using makeup and they contour their face to look a lot more angular, which is fine. That would be great. I mean, do contour your face the way you want. That's not a problem. The problem is how you're trying to sell that you got there. And some poor kid that is 10 years old will believe you. They will not be able to understand that this is contouring and it's not breaking your face with a hammer. And that is dangerous.
Yeah, it's bad.
Man.
Yeah, it's silliness. So I stick to fiction. It's far easier to draw people's faces a certain way than make your own face physically a certain way.
Yeah. And it's, you know what, makeup is there for a reason. And there have been countless demonstrations of how with makeup you can completely change your face to look how you want it to look. Even like there are even little like prosthetic things that reshape how your face is, like with the nose and stuff. I have seen weird, incredible things that completely transform a person. So if you really want to change your face, do that. That is safe, or at least safer than trying to sell. But you know what? These guys usually want to sell manliness, and in our century, makeup is not considered manly like it was considered in earlier centuries. So they don't want to admit that they have done it with makeup. So
Yeah. Well, then again, there's things like beards, which were very big in like popular culture and fashion. I don't know what, 10 years ago. And now that's not a thing
I
so
mean, they
much
come in
anymore.
cycles. They
Hmm.
come in cycles.
But they had a thing with the beards and the mustaches, which made people look very masculine and manly. And then the same people would, because those sort of people are only doing it for fashion. They're not doing it for personal style, because fashion and style are different things. So they removed them when the fashion went out, and they suddenly made
Are
themselves
baby
look,
faces.
yes, baby faced. And it was quite shocking.
Yeah.
Quite shocking indeed. I've seen like videos of them revealing themselves to their like children and things, and their children running off crying. Where's Daddy gone? What's Daddy done to himself? and their partners being surprised and go, "Oh my God, what have you done? Grow it back now."
I remember, like my dad used to have a full beard and mustache because in the 70s that was the fashion, and he was considered one of the handsome versions of that. Um, so there came the time where he had to go join the army because it is mandatory in Greece to to have your like to. I mean, at the time it was 2 years of mandatory conscription in the
Yeah,
army. He had
Yeah.
to save. He had to save the beard because it's
yeah.
the army. um, and he completely. I mean, he did change. He looked different. I remember, but I also don't remember being that shocked that he looked that way. I don't know how.
Okay.
Mm.
This is me just calling out the thing that maybe. I mean, maybe the reaction is genuine, but it feels a little bit over dramatized, and I don't. I have no proof either way.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the transformation is drastic for sure, but it's not like you know the your father has transformed into a goblin. It's not that. It's drastic, but not that
Yeah.
drastic. But again, I don't know. I don't know. So I don't. I'm a bit skeptical, but I can't prove either way.
Well, everything is heightened on social media anyway. That's just how it
Yeah.
is. But yeah, so beards are a way of changing faces
Mm,
on your characters. So I've
yeah,
never bearded up my characters that I can remember. You know, I've
I
had
have.
characters with beards, but I haven't. Okay, you've
Arthur
added like,
starts off clean shaven,
yeah,
and now
that's
he's a
true.
beard.
Yeah, there you go. So you
Yes.
have altered his face. So he's going to reveal, he's going to pull it off and say, "Ha, it was fake all along."
He is never going to say that thing ever again.
He's bearded
So,
permanently.
yeah.
Oh, good, good, good. He's sticking with it. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to look as far removed from being a Nazi as possible for his own sanity. So he's
Well, a
not
beard
going
is a good
to
way to
do
do
it.
that.
Yeah.
They
And
seem very
then certain
anti-beards.
things will happen. Yeah. And this is it's not a spoiler because I'm not revealing what, unless you know Greek culture that well. But certain things are going to happen in his life that will make him keep the beard anyway, even if chose, he wouldn't choose to do it, even if he had more of a luxury to do it. Let's put it
Oh,
that
what?
way.
Is he becoming a
He will
patriarch?
stay bearded. What?
Is he becoming a patriarch?
No. But good
Yeah.
calls.
Those people have very impressive beards. Yeah, I do love, like I've said, aging characters and the marks of age and what you can do. But children are horrible to draw. I hate drawing children, and so do many artists.
Don't read that out loud.
But yeah, so children are just really hard to draw because the proportions are so different from an adult. From a teen to an adult, your proportions can be kind of weird because teens go through this growth spurt where their legs and arms get a bit longer and all that kind of stuff. So, but when you I don't know, maybe from the period of like 18, 19 or whatever, your body doesn't change that much. And from that period to years and years and years, physically your proportions are pretty well set. But teens and then children are way different in their proportions. And it's just really hard to draw. Like, some people are really good at it, but I do not like drawing them. Because heads are much bigger in proportion to the body. Like, you could have like a child who is almost as tall as an adult, but they're a child because the head is the wrong proportion to the rest of their body.
Yeah.
And it's just something you can always notice. So children, like, a bad way of drawing children is to draw them as a small version of an adult, like proportionally small. That will always look wrong.
Okay.
That's the medieval way of drawing children.
Yeah. You have to do a big head and small body in relation to the head. The shoulders have to be really narrow. You can never draw a child with wide shoulders. They're just completely wrong. Even if it was a muscular child, the shoulders have to be really narrow. It's just how it has to be. So yeah, I am against drawing them because they're weird people, and I have to change my mental settings too much. So not for me, I'm afraid. And teens are weird, in their because as a teen you're going through that period of change, that flux in between being a child and an adult. So your limbs lengthen, they don't broaden yet because the thickening happens as you age. So there's all that kind of stuff, and it's not the same process for all teens. They all develop differently depending on whatever underlying genetics they have, or ethnicity or whatever. So that can be very different depending on all these other kinds of factors. But yeah, then again, that's weirdness. So I think that's why, we were talking before about movies and TV, they don't tend to cast teens who look teen in a lot of TV shows and movies, because that's just a bit too, I don't know, real. So if they actually cast a real teen in a thing, they'll cast one that looks a bit more adult in proportions. It's like when you have these supermodels or whatever, they're fashion models who are 14 years old. They're not picking a fashion model who looks like a 14-year-old. They're picking a fashion model who looks like 25. That's just how it is. And, maybe that gives people a false idea of what a 14-year-old looks like. But yeah, that's just how it is. Because nothing against 14-year-olds or whatever, but, physically it is an age of like transition, and yeah, it's just a bit awkward. I don't know. I like we've all gone through that period ourselves. Like, I was a very awkward teenager who had like, weirdly proportioned body, as a lot of people did. And I'm happy that I'm not like that anymore.
I
I'm
don't
hoping to exit that
understand.
phase soon. Fingers crossed.
The only thing I remember is that I was the shortest one in my class. And
Hmm.
it is a quality I retain, usually. Usually I will be the shortest person in the room. So
Oh, fair enough. I just remember that I had very skinny arms and legs, like ridiculously skinny.
Mhm.
So I didn't fill out until like, yeah, a long time after. Like very, very narrow person. So I would have had narrow shoulders and narrow hips and all that kind of stuff. So ridiculously svelte. So yeah, I do prefer not to draw people like that. What about you guys? Chance, you'd have to, I suppose. You'd have to draw like because Photos is that.
yeah. I have to remember to still draw his head a little bit bigger than it will be when he's an adult. Um, and I have also to keep in mind his growth spurt because he still is short because he hasn't grown, but he is in that age where kids grow like cucumbers, basically.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
I have to decide when he grows, and then when he does grow, I have to make sure that someone notices and tells him, you have grown. Like you're suddenly taller, kid, that sort of thing. And I have to
Yeah.
remember that. So I have
Look
that.
at you, little Photos. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have other characters who are also like young, like Diomedes and Alex and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. I have a bunch of kids that all are going to go through that. And especially like Diomedes and Alex are still not even preteens; they are kids. Diomedes is starting to be a preteen because he's 11. So, but Alex is 9. So
Oh,
she really is young.
God.
Yeah, she's very young. Um, so she's going to be changing a lot and pretty drastically. Also, her hair is going to grow in finally.
Yeah, okay. And Baines, have you ever depicted child characters?
As far as I can think of, only once did I show Penelope and TK, who are brother and sister. There's a little photo montage of them growing up. There's maybe one page with them younger. TK's maybe a teen or something, and Penelope's much younger. She's a little kid. There's like a little page of them talking. I have to look back and find it. It's a long time ago. And then a little photo montage of the two getting older, sort of a few years at a time. And she's really short, and then she becomes super tall over time. So it's fun to see that montage. And then TK's silly hairstyles. But yeah, they're super hard to draw. I agree, kids are. But I was really happy with how adorable little Penelope was in my cartoony style.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's
all
the
your
I've
characters.
tried drawing
Okay.
them on my. Oh, sorry, I've tried drawing them here and there in life, but it's super hard. It's really, like you said, it's really tough.
And all your characters have big eyes regardless.
Huge eyes. I've moderated that a little bit, I think. At least that's my take on it. I've moderated that a bit. Their eyes have shrunk somewhat. But yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the style, though. It's you don't look at it and you go, "Oh, yes, all these characters must be like, yeah, super young." It's just you become habituated to the style, and you don't see that as being like wrong or anything. So you didn't have to change that.
No, I know. I think someone commented many years ago that they reckon it wasn't a complaint, but it was like, oh, I always recognize your style, like the huge eyes. Then I really looked like, oh my God, that's true. They're not even like Archie comics level. They're like huge. Certain characters, at least, like just takes up half the head or whatever, and so they've shrunk a little bit.
They're expressive.
Yeah, I like that innocent look. So like a lot of my characters, maybe almost all of my lead characters, or all of them, have this innocence about them and an innocent look. And yeah, I guess I like that. Yeah.
I was looking at some anime recently, and you'll notice, like, depending on the style, because there's a lot of different anime styles, but one of the styles is to have, okay, so all the girls have to look innocent, but when they get a certain age, maybe we can narrow the eyes somewhat, maybe just a little bit. But yeah, normally they always have, massive eyes. And then for the men, if they're teens or younger, they can have like rounded eyes. But as soon as we're showing a more mature adult, no matter what age they are, they could be like 18 to 60 or 18 to 80, they'll have narrow eyes, smaller eyes.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. If they want to show them as being more mature.
Right.
So yeah, that's a huge difference. But yes, so eyeballs in my comic are not massive.
Yeah.
But for Bottomless Waitress, everyone does tend to have like slightly larger eyes than normal.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not Bane's level large. They're slightly bigger. But yeah, Pinky TA, they're more realistically sized, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
But yeah, my own eyes are quite narrow and small, I think. They're not large. Tance has got gigantic, sexy eyes. It's
No,
the glasses.
That's because of the glasses. I don't really have that.
Tance has natural, like hooded darkness, so it gives her a gothic look.
Well.
So she has a smoky
anyway, the
eye.
eyes I draw are something mid-tier large, I think. They are large, but not animal large, or they are slightly larger than realistic, I think, but not too larger.
And I've seen Bane's just has one eye. He's like a cyclops, and it's just his head is an eyeball.
Yep.
With, eyelashes and the eyebrow. That's all. It's very impressive.
It's a good look.
It's very stylish. Yeah, it'll catch on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, we're at the end of the Quackcast. Oh my goodness me! So we have to finish up. Thanks very much for listening to Quackcast number 197. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.